2005, a major scandal broke out in Henan province, China. Lü Debin, who was once a US-educated PhD, university professor, doctoral advisor, chief agricultural expert, vice governor of the Henan Provincial People's Government, and one of the top 10 Provincial People's Congress representatives, was sentenced to death for hiring a hitman to murder his wife. How did such a high-ranking scholar official fall so far and end up condemned? Yet, perspectives differ. Some see darkness where others see light. A mind consumed by inner demons sees only darkness, while a mind with clarity and compassion remains pure. Today, let us take a look at the tragic life of Vice Governor Lü Debin, a man who spiraled into madness and ultimately destroyed himself. Lü Debin was born in May 1953 in Lanu Village, Yanling County, Henan Province, and grew up in a life of hardship. His father was disabled and his mother was sick, so Lü learned to endure tough conditions from a young age. Despite the poor educational environment at the time, he excelled academically, and by the age of 18, he had become the secretary of the village's youth league branch. In 1975, after graduating from junior high school, Lü had a timely opportunity to enroll at Henan Agricultural College, now Henan Agricultural University. At the time, college admissions were based on local organization recommendations, and Lü, with his politically red and pure background, was recommended for admission. Those recommended for university under such programs were given the prestigious title of Worker Peasant Soldier students. This was a life-changing opportunity that Lü seized firmly. As a Worker Peasant Soldier student, Lü studied diligently and achieved excellent grades. After graduating from university, he became part of the first batch of graduate students admitted to Henan Agricultural University after the Cultural Revolution, focusing on genetic breeding. His mentor was Professor Fan Lian, who would later become the deputy director of the Henan Provincial People's Congress. Lü was fortunate to have gained the appreciation and support of his mentor. In 1982, after completing his graduate studies, Lü gave up the opportunity to work at the Ministry of Agriculture and chose to stay at the university as a faculty member. Around this time, Professor Fan Lian secured a study abroad opportunity at Kansas State University in the United States for Henan Agricultural University. Lü was selected and became one of the first Chinese students to study in the United States after the Cultural Revolution. Just before departing, he married his first wife, Guo Lihuan, who was his university classmate. In May 1982, Lü successfully applied for a scholarship at Kansas State University. In the United States, Lü studied with great diligence, and in 1988, after 6 years of hard work, he earned his doctorate. During this period, he turned down offers from companies and institutions in Japan, the United States, and the Philippines, as well as a job opportunity in Beijing, and chose to return to his alma mater, Henan Agricultural University. He declared that he had not forgotten his oath under the red flag to return after his studies and serve the motherland. While working at his alma mater, Lü achieved several scientific research milestones. Due to his outstanding work performance, he was promoted to positions such as Dean and Vice President of the College of Agriculture at Henan Agricultural University. He was seen by the organization department as a potential high-level leader to be groomed for future roles. However, as his scientific achievements continued to emerge and his career continued to rise, trouble began brewing in Lü's personal life at home. In the early days of their marriage, Lü Debin and Guo Lihuan had a good relationship, but it did not last. Once their lives became stable, they faced a major disagreement over caring for Lü's parents. Lü, a deeply devoted filial son, believed that now that he was capable, his parents, who had suffered for decades due to poverty, should enjoy a better life. To fulfill this obligation, he brought his disabled father to live with them in Zhengzhou and personally cared for him morning and night. At the same time, Lü's younger sister also moved to Zhengzhou and lived with the Lü family. Moreover, Lü demanded that his wife show the same level of filial piety, serving meals to his parents and tending to them when they were sick, even taking care of their most personal needs. However, Guo Lihuan, an educated woman who worked at the training center of Henan Agricultural University after returning to China, also had her own career and valued her independence and quiet life. The burden of raising their child, combined with her heavy workload, left her overwhelmed. The presence of Lü's family disrupted her life, And as the saying goes, there is no filial son before a long-term sickbed, let alone a daughter-in-law who had married into the family. Over time, her dissatisfaction grew. Before long, tensions arose between the couple. As Lu's career flourished, he became increasingly occupied, leaving the burden of caring for his parents to Guo alone. Despite her efforts to play the role of a dutiful daughter-in-law, she could never meet Lu's expectations. Lü, known for his blunt and straightforward nature, often expressed dissatisfaction with Guo's treatment of his family in front of others, causing the entire university to be aware of their private issues. Such public airing of grievances only deepened their conflict, leading to continuous Cold Wars between the two. Between 1996 and 1997, shortly after Lü became vice president of the Agricultural University, his relationship with Guo reached an irreconcilable point. In November 1997, they agreed to divorce. Following this failed marriage, Lü was physically and emotionally drained. However, being a prideful man who refused to show weakness, he claimed to colleagues that he had no regrets, stating, "I would rather lose my wife than my father." Reflecting on his marriage's failure, Lü formulated a peculiar theory. He believed that his ex-wife's inability to treat his parents well stemmed from her being a city-bred, educated, and attractive woman with her own career. According to Lü, a rural woman with less education would have been more willing to fulfill the role of a filial daughter-in-law. In 1998, after discussing with his father, Lü decided to find a second wife from his rural hometown, adhering to 3 criteria: the less educated, the better; the less attractive, the better. And she must be willing to care for his elderly father. Following these criteria, in the latter half of 1998, Lü met Chen Junhong, a woman 14 years his junior, from a neighboring village. Chen, who had not completed junior high school and had been farming all her life, fit Lü's requirements perfectly. In August of that year, through a friend's introduction, 32-year-old Chen met Lü and soon began working as a caregiver for Lü's ailing father. 6 months later, Lü's father praised Chen's diligence and attentiveness, comparing her to a biological daughter. Taking this to heart, Lü decided to marry her. At the end of 1999, after over a year of caring for Lü's father, Lü and Chen became husband and wife, and she became the respected principal's wife. In late 2000, Chen gave birth to a son, bringing great joy to Lü, who was nearly 50 at the time. His gratitude transformed into deep affection. Over the next year, Lü's career soared as he became vice governor of Henan province. The Lü family moved into the provincial government compound, enjoying the luxuries of high status, including domestic staff and chauffeur-driven cars. In early 2003, following the death of Lü's father, Chen found herself without purpose and requested that Lü use his influence to secure a job for her. Lü arranged for Chen to work in the library of the Agricultural College at Henan Agricultural University. Having transitioned from a rural woman to a city resident and from a housewife to a public employee, Chen's newfound status led to an inflated sense of self-importance. Accustomed to serving others, Chen now found herself in a position of prestige. She began to assert control over her family and Lü's staff, issuing orders and reprimanding those who displeased her. For even the slightest perceived offense, she would berate or scold harshly. Although Lü anticipated changes in his wife's behavior, he still found her actions embarrassing. Despite his best efforts to reason with her, it was clear that his original 3 conditions had limited Chen's outlook, as she paid no heed to his attempts at guidance, fully aware that he had no power over her. Lü Debin was deeply affected by his wife's arrogance and sense of entitlement that arose from being spoiled. At this point, during a grassroots research trip, Lü met Zhang Mei, the sister of a forestry department official in Xinjiang City, Henan province. Over 40 years old, Zhang Mei initially approached Lü for business-related matters, but after a few interactions, Lü found himself attracted to her feminine charm and understanding nature. Zhang Mei, with ambitions of her own, was willing to climb the social ladder, and the two soon began a clandestine affair. Despite Lü's belief that he was being discreet, in February 2003, Chen Junhong discovered hints of her husband's infidelity. One evening, Lü returned home late from socializing and went to shower. While he was in the bathroom, his phone, left on the coffee table, beeped with a new message. Already suspicious, Chen checked the phone and her face darkened when she saw an intimate message signed off as, "Forever love you, your sister." Consumed with rage, Chen confronted Lü before he could even finish his shower. Ignoring his desperate pleas for forgiveness, even as the vice governor knelt and begged, she slapped him repeatedly, refusing to let the matter go. Following this, Lü was unable to sever ties with Jiang Mei, and Chen continued to wage a relentless domestic battle. In another incident, an anonymous call warned Chen to keep a close eye on her husband and not let him seduce other women. The caller threatened to make Lü pay for his transgressions. Convinced more than ever that Lü was cheating, Chen, in her own words, believed Lü Debin is having an affair. As Lü's affair became exposed and family conflicts intensified, Chen's attitude towards Lü and his family underwent a drastic change. While Chen felt humiliated and furious over Lü's emotional betrayal, she also feared being abandoned by him. Losing her status as the vice governor's wife, and all the privileges it afforded, was unthinkable. In mid-August 2004, Lü traveled out of town for a meeting, only to be followed by Chen. That night, Chen caught Lü and Jiang Mei in the act. From that point on, Chen repeatedly reported Lü's misconduct to provincial leaders, and their marriage completely disintegrated. After much contemplation, Lü proposed a divorce, offering Chen a significant financial settlement. While Chen initially agreed, she later reconsidered. She informed Lü that she would never divorce him, and, if pushed, would expose his corruption, potentially landing him in jail. After that, Lü never dared to mention divorce again. As vice governor, Lü was often involved in social functions. Friends and relatives from his hometown frequently came to Zhengzhou seeking his help, but Chen consistently opposed their requests. From that point on, Lü's home life became unbearable. In contrast to the verbal disputes with his first wife, Guo Lixuan, Chen's confrontations were far more intense and violent. When arguments erupted, Chen would berate and physically attack Lü, slapping him, wielding knives, or forcing him to kneel and beg for mercy. She used cruel insults and humiliation to strip away his dignity. Unable to endure the abuse, Lü often confided in his driver, subordinates, and provincial government leaders to vent his frustration. As a result, Lü's troubled family life became well known within the Henan Provincial Party Committee and government circles. Privately, many people shared a similar view. Lü Debin had a miserable home life. While Lü Debin was overwhelmed by his family troubles, Vice Mayor of Xinjiang City, Shang Yuhe, paid him a visit in June 2004. At the time, 43-year-old Shang Yuhe had been serving as the deputy director of the Henan Provincial Department of Agriculture since July 2000. In July 2002, during a cadre exchange in Henan province, he was reassigned to Xinjiang City as vice mayor, responsible for agricultural affairs, making him Lü's subordinate in a corresponding superior-subordinate relationship. Since the start of the fall semester in 2002, he had also been studying as a part-time postgraduate student in agricultural extension program at Henan Agricultural University, and respectfully referred to Lü as teacher to strengthen their relationship. On the afternoon of June 15, 2004, Shang invited Lü for a meal under the pretense of reporting on work. During their conversation over drinks, they discussed work and personal matters. After a few glasses of alcohol, Lü opened up about his family troubles. Seeing that the vice governor trusted him so much, Shang was flattered and immediately suggested that Lü either try to make things work or, if it was impossible, simply get a divorce. Lü, however, explained that, as a twice-married provincial government leader, divorce was not an easy matter. Realizing Lü had deeper concerns, Shang dropped the topic of divorce. From then on, Shang frequently contacted Lü, either to report work matters or to show concern for Lü's family issues, gradually building a closer relationship. In the latter half of 2004, the central government decided to establish the Henan Provincial Rural Credit Cooperatives Union, a department-level unit responsible for coordinating economic affairs. When Shang learned of this, he asked Lü to inquire about the details and help him secure a position. Lü agreed to assist and called the executive vice governor in charge of the project to ask about personnel arrangements. However, he learned that strict criteria made Shang an unsuitable candidate, and nothing came of it. Despite this setback, Shang regarded Lü as a kind and considerate leader who cared for his subordinates. In October 2004, Lü's brother and his family visited him in Zhengzhou. During dinner, Chen Junhong, Lü's wife, treated his brother and family coldly, which deeply embarrassed Lü, who was sensitive about his reputation. That night, Lü wanted his brother's family to stay at his home, but Chen adamantly refused, leaving Lü with no choice but to arrange for them to stay at a hotel. That evening, Lü and Chen had a fierce argument. Lü, who neither hit nor insulted people, was reduced to tears by his frustration and anger. The next day, Shang invited Lü to another meal, where Lü vented about the grievances he had endured over the years and, in a fit of rage, declared, "Instead of living with such a shrew for the rest of my life, I'd rather hire a few thugs to disable her and take care of her for the rest of my life." Seeing Lü's fury, Shang seized the opportunity and suggested, "If Governor Lü truly wishes, I can find someone to help." That night, they agreed. They would either do it thoroughly or not at all, and would arrange to have Chen dealt with. From October to November 2004, Lü and Shang met in Lü's office or communicated over the phone multiple times to plot Chen's murder. At the end of 2004, Shang approached his fellow villager from Tanghe County, Henan Province, Zhang Songshui, and offered a large sum of money to handle the matter. At 38 years old, Zhang was completely obedient to Shang due to the latter's influence and support. After receiving the task from the vice mayor, Zhang scouted the area multiple times, seeking opportunities and making preparations for the crime. For security reasons, Lü, Shang, and Zhang maintained strict single-line communication. Lü only contacted Shang, and Shang communicated with Zhang. Lü never directly contacted Zhang. One day in April 2005, Lü Debin attended the wedding of a nephew in his hometown and gave a gift of 2,000 yuan. Unexpectedly, word of this reached Chen Junhong, and it led to yet another fierce argument between them. During the quarrel, Chen became enraged and stabbed Lü in the waist and lower body with a fruit knife, threatening to end her life and go all out with him. Lü was immediately wounded, bleeding profusely and narrowly avoiding severe injury. This violent incident became the final straw that broke the camel's back, solidifying Lü's determination to eliminate Chen Junhong. In the days that followed, Lü repeatedly called Shang Yuhei, urging him to take action quickly. In early June 2005, after consulting with Zhang Songshui, Shang presented Lü with two murder plans. One involved disguising themselves as robbers to kill Chen in Lü's residence at the agricultural university, where she often stayed. The other plan was to lure her out under the pretext of buying a car she had been wanting, and then murder her. In early June, with keys already obtained, Zhang and another accomplice, Xu Xiaotong, an unemployed drifter, drove from Nanyang to Zhengzhou, ready to seize an opportunity to carry out their plan. To ensure security, Zhang purchased 3 China Unicom mobile SIM cards in Zhengzhou. He kept one for himself and gave the other 2 to Shang, who in turn handed one to Lü. These were to be used exclusively for communications during the operation. On the morning of June 6th, Zhang and Xu tailed Chen near the residential area of Henan Agricultural University, waiting for a chance to enter and attack her. However, the family's housekeeper never left Chen's side, and Lü had strictly instructed that no one else should be harmed. As a result, they were unable to find an opportunity. After reporting back to Lü, he and Shang decided to proceed with the second plan. Earlier in 2005, Chen had obtained a driver's license and requested that Lü buy her a car. Lü refused, leading to a barrage of verbal abuse from Chen, accusing him of being heartless and ungrateful. As their conflicts escalated, Chen warned Lü that she had compiled a list of his bribes and could expose it at any moment. Panicked, Lü contacted Shang, urging him to get rid of the troublemaker. Just as Shang was finalizing the preparations, Lü began to waver. He could not bear the thought of his son growing up without a mother. He decided to test Chen one last time. When he asked her for the supposed list of bribery records, Chen coldly replied, "Give it up. Unless you kill me, even if I die, I will take you down with me." Her words sealed Lü's decision. On June 7, 2005, Shang called Chen, claiming that someone was willing to sponsor 150,000 yuan for her to purchase a car, and that Vice Governor Lü had approved it. He told her they would take her to see and buy the car the next day. Chen, who had been eager to own a car since obtaining her license, was delighted and immediately agreed to go with the caller to see the car. Amid the rush and chaos of the day, Shang inadvertently used his regular work phone instead of the special China Unicom SIM card provided by Zhang for the call to Chen. This minor oversight would later provide crucial evidence for the public security authorities in quickly solving the case. On the morning of June 8, 2005, Shang Yuhei took 150,000 yuan from his own savings and gave it to Zhang Songshui. This cash was intended to gain Chen Junhong's trust and lower her guard, as well as serve as payment for Zhang and Xu Xiaotong after completing the crime. At around 10 a.m., Chen, who was working in the library of Henan Agricultural University, received a call. Smiling, she quickly packed up her belongings to leave. Her colleagues, noticing her hurry, jokingly asked why she was so eager to go out and what good news she had. She turned around and, still smiling, replied, "Of course it's something good. I'll be back soon." Deceived, Chen got into the Passat, prepared by Shang Yuhei, believing she was going to look at a car. A bag containing the 150,000 yuan in cash was placed in the vehicle, with the zipper left open so that Chen could see it, reinforcing the illusion that this was a genuine car purchase. Zhang Songshui drove north from Wenhua Road in Zhengzhou. Shortly after the car turned onto Beihuan Road, Chen noticed that the direction did not match where they were supposed to go to see the car. She questioned Zhang and Xu about their destination. Realizing that their plan was about to be exposed and noticing no one around, Xu Xiaotong, who had been sitting in the back seat next to Chen, suddenly grabbed her by the neck until she lost consciousness. He then used a replica Type 64 pistol to strike her head, killing her. That evening, Xu dismembered Chen's body with a knife and machete, placed the remains into a woven bag, and weighed it down with stones before sinking it into the Hushan Reservoir in Nanyang. Following Chen's death, to provide Lü Debin with an excuse to report her disappearance to the police, Zhang, under Shang's direction, used a dedicated burner phone in Xinjiang City to send a text message to Lu's regular phone at around 2 p.m. "Your wife is with me. If you want her to live, prepare 500,000 won quickly." This created the illusion of a kidnapping. After receiving the message, Lü, aware that Chen had already been killed, instructed provincial staff to report to the public security authorities, claiming that Chen had been kidnapped. The kidnapping of the vice governor's wife was a serious matter. The case was quickly escalated through the chain of command, and the provincial public security director and the vice governor ordered a thorough investigation. The matter soon caught the attention of central authorities in Beijing, with senior officials of the Central Political and Legal Affairs Commission demanding that the case be solved promptly to reassure the public. The Zhengzhou Public Security Bureau immediately formed a powerful special task force, focusing all efforts on the investigation and naming it the 6.8 Special Case Task Force, based on the date of the incident. During their investigation, the police discovered that, aside from calls from unknown numbers on the day of the incident, Vice Mayor Shang Yuhei of Xinjiang had communicated with Chen the day before her supposed kidnapping. Shang was quickly taken into custody. Under intense interrogation, Shang soon confessed to the murder of Chen Junhong, carried out with Zhang Songshui and Xu Xiaotong, and revealed the involvement of the mastermind, Henan Vice Governor Lü Debin. On June 9th, Zhang Songshui, one of the perpetrators who called Lü, was apprehended, followed shortly by the capture of Xu Xiaotong. On June 11th, Lü Debin, who had just returned to Zhengzhou from a meeting in Beijing, was summoned by the police. He was never allowed to return home. In less than 72 hours, the case of Lü Debin hiring a hitman to kill his wife was solved.